Welcome back to the Bible with Brady YouTube channel. We have a special video for you today. Joining me is the one and only Andrew Slover, channel known as Wisdom from the Word. Some of you, well, all of you, will probably know him because we did the Psalm a Day video series together. And so he is going away to Bible college. How much time do you have left before you leave?
1 day.
1 day. He's leaving tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning. Headed out to California, go to school. Pray for him, please. And I thought we'd bring him on before he leaves to do a little bit of an interview, ask him some questions, and then see kind of what he's excited about. So I'm glad that you're here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends on your Facebook or wherever you are, and we'll get right into it today. We actually are overdue for this video because we were supposed to do the final Psalm 150 video together, and we didn't do that. I fell extremely behind when the baby was born. And so we ended up getting that done much, much later. But the Psalm a Day was just kind of it was an idea that I had.
Yeah.
And at the time, kind of how it came to be was you started making videos just out of the blue.
Yeah.
And posting them on Facebook. And I knew like the Lord had put this on my heart, about doing this Psalm a day, doing a devotion every single day, posting something every day. And I kind of wanted to get back into doing some Bible videos and just trying to see what the Lord would do with it. And I thought, well, it's going to be really hard for me to do that every single day. So I thought I'll get somebody who is much younger and knows more about tech than I do to be able to help me with that. So I think we started right away. Psalms 1, 2, going back and forth. And at first you were recording them and then sending them to me. And I started to post both the shorts and the videos. But the shorts, some of the shorts that you were in were getting a lot of views. And I think it's just because you're younger and have more hair than me. I don't know. But
something like that.
But I think from then, like, you started to see, like, hey, I could really make this channel and people would watch it. And so then kind of in the middle somewhere, you started your channel and just started posting them on there, which was great because it made it easier for me. What was your experience like with the Psalm a Day?
It was really good. Like you said, it started out with me sending them to you, and it just took so long because I had to send them to you, then you had to edit it and do all that into your channel. And I already had my YouTube channel. I think I had posted a song that I sang here at church. And so I decided I already have them on my phone and everything. Instead of sending them, I'll just put them on my own channel. And so that's what I started doing. And people on the shorts, like you said, people would just see it in crossing and click on it, watch it. And the first couple videos, I got a lot of comments. I got a lot of like random comments. It was just really weird. But it just from there, went on and it started to build from there. And there was one video I posted. I'm trying to think. I think it was towards the end. It was probably in the 130s or 40s, and it blew up. I got like 11,000 views on it. And it may have been because I titled it something like "What's the state of your heart?" And maybe people were thinking it's not some spiritual video. But it got like 11,000 views, and I doubled my subscriber count on that video. So it was really good. I think it was a really good series to start on. It's very simple, Psalm a day, and it really helped found the channel, base it, on on like the poetic part of Scripture,
Yeah.
where you break it down and stuff like that. So
What would you say? What would you say you learned about just putting content online? Like not necessarily Bible lessons, or what did you learn about the Book of Psalms? But what did you just learn about? What did you learn about just putting yourself out there, making content, and just experiencing with things?
yeah. So it's actually a lot easier than most people would think. Anyone can just sit down, record a video, you just upload it. Put a title, put a description in it, and you're good to go. So it's kind of one of those things where you could post anything out there, but you have to find something that I guess you would like to do. Obviously we're Christians, so putting out Bible stuff, stuff you learn in your daily Bible reading or something you learned in church, just to share it with someone is click away. So especially in today's age, anyone can do it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, for sure.
I was pleasantly surprised to see that there really was an appetite for Bible content online.
Yeah.
And so my goal with the Bible with Brady has been not only to help encourage believers that already are saved, right? People that are already believers, to help teach them the Bible, to answer some Bible questions, but also to get the gospel out to people who are not believers.
Yeah.
And we certainly see that because there are people who comment that are like, "You're wrong. You're a liar."
Right.
I've had people that have said crazy stuff, stuff about Yahweh and just the name Yahweh. That movement that's like you can't use the name Jesus. And just the other day, I had a guy that was talking about just some crazy stuff I've never even heard before. And sometimes they're trolls. Sometimes I've had people go back and forth with me on the video, and I can tell like they're really thinking about creation or they're really thinking about the Bible. Sometimes you get people that are just nasty, but there are some that really you can tell the Lord's working on their heart, and that's really my goal has been really through the shorts mainly is to get Bible content in front of people. And then the longer form videos is more, for my channel anyway, are a little bit meatier. So there's definitely more, I'm answering a question that people have, what's the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament? Or I might post a sermon that I preach here at the church. And so that's kind of been my desire with it. I'm probably never going to make money off of it, never going to blow up. But you just don't know who you're really having an impact on. And there's been some people that I've seen that have subscribed and will comment from time to time, people I don't even know, who are grateful for the videos. So that's been a blessing from all of it. But it definitely has been an interesting experience, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I think for my channel, I started out same thing with the reels or the shorts, and then once I realized I could build my channel, because it used to be my name, just Andrew Slover, and I think I messaged you and I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna change the name to something where people aren't like it's just my name.
Yeah.
So then I thought about it a lot. I think I sent you like 7 different names, and I came up with Wisdom from the Word, which is a great name. I thought it was the best one because a lot of people out there, they'll either they'll bring their opinion into things or politics, and I didn't want that. So that's why it's Wisdom from the Word. The whole purpose of everything that my channel does is straight out of the Word of God. And so then I made a list of like all the videos or all the topics that I could do, and I wanted to start basically with kind of like a discipleship setting. So that's why I did the first series outside of Psalm a Day was Back to the Basics, which I started with the gospel, and then we did baptism. What is God's word for? What is prayer? What is fasting? And then just build on it. And then from now, it's just making random videos. But I think it was a good foundation for it.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I'd like to get into this year is doing live videos. Because YouTube has a reach where you can reach people through shorts, you can reach them through the long form videos, and then also going live, which is something I want to definitely be a little more prepared for. And I've gone through and watched people that are live just to learn about it, and a lot of them they're just sitting there talking about nothing, just to get people on, and then it's like, they don't have a direction of what they're, and it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just get on there and panhandle, but I do want to get on there. Maybe I schedule it. It's 1 hour a week that I get on and we go live and we answer Bible questions or whatever. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe something we could do when you're in California. You'll definitely have to take some pictures and videos when you're there.
Oh yeah.
That you can post on YouTube, make a little YouTube video out there. You're bringing your computer with you.
Yes.
So you'll be able to edit and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
I was thinking of doing like a not a series, but just doing like a kind of like a vlog kind of thing, where it's like, I'm this is what I'm doing today. Here's the schedule.
Yeah.
So,
I think people would be interested in that, just to kind of see what it's like. What kind of talk a little bit about what led you to Bible college, why you're going to Bible college, and what you'd like to, maybe some of your goals in college, what you'd like to happen.
Yeah, so I'm going to make a testimony video on my channel eventually. But I was probably around, it goes way back, probably nine or 10. The first time I ever preached, it was at we had an old church building, and it was a New Year's Eve candlelight, I think it was, or something like that. And I don't know, I threw something together.
You preached on time, I remember.
I did, the value of a minute. And I actually stole it.
You stole it from Jeff Fugit?
Jeff Owens.
Jeff Owens.
I had a CD, that was just
I remember
crazy.
That.
They don't even have CDs anymore, but
I had
a CD, and I sat there and I typed out, like I'd play it, I'd listen to what he said, type it out, pause, just copy the whole thing, and then edited it, and added my own thoughts to it. But after that, I later on, and I'm not gonna get into like everything, but we went to, it was Indian Creek, I think it was, and I surrendered to preach there, and
at the camp there.
Correct. Yeah. And after that, I think I may have preached 1 or 2 times after that. And you fast forward, I ended up going to high school, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. So I wasn't really focused on my call. I was more focused on, I'm in school. This is my responsibilities. And so I kind of got sidetracked, just doing life, really, is what it is. And so once that happened, I got out of high school, and it's kind of that sense of freedom, right? I can do whatever, I'm going to work, I'm going to make money. I don't have a ton of bills, so I can just do whatever. And so I was doing that, and I was just doing my own thing, and I almost went to the Marine Corps. In a way, I can look back and I can see I was kind of searching for my place, I guess you could say. And so I just got one day hit with reality of what am I doing? I remember being like 15 or 16, and I had all these goals. I want to be married at this age, or I want to have a house at this age, or a nice car and be established at this age. And it hit me. I'm 19 going on 20. Well, now I'm 20, but at that time, and I was like, man, I gotta get the ball rolling here. So I really I just looked to the Lord. I had, some things in my life, and I preached about this before, but, I had some things I was just kind of doing, again, my own thing. And so we went to, a conference in Indiana, I think it was. It's, was it Hiles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
First
so
Baptist.
we went there, and, they had, I forget what the message was, but I resurrendered there. And that's really where everything changed. And I was like, okay, I feel that I'm led of the Lord to, either preach or pastor, or whatever capacity it is, to do something like that. And so I was like, if I want to be here, and you can apply this to anything. If you want to get somewhere, you have to plan on how to get there. So I was like, well, I should probably go to a Bible college. And, the Lord just was working behind the scenes, and, Golden State came up, which we had the tour group in, and I forgot about it, but I signed up and not registered, but put my name in and everything a couple years before, probably 2022, maybe a little earlier. But so anyway, I looked at a couple other colleges, and with money and finances, because I was blowing all my money, I didn't really have savings, and so I told the Lord, I said, Lord, well, I'd like to go to this school. I'd like to go to college. You've called me, or you've led me, and you've given me these abilities, and I want to use them for you. But I need you to show me how to do that, and I need you to provide the money and all this stuff. And so I said, well, Lord, I'm going to take a step of faith, and I'm going to put and register, apply to the school, if I get accepted. So I got my acceptance letter. I think it was fall of 25, or no, let's see. It was probably June or July, maybe August. I was approved for the fall semester, and, I just didn't have the finances. So, I just kept praying, Lord, if you want me to go, I'll go in the springtime, but you're going to have to provide the money. I'm going to work, I'm going to save my money, and if I have enough to go, then I'll go. And, the Lord provided the whole way through. And I think one of the biggest words that, like, the theme of 2025, for me at least, I could say would be provision. The Lord's provision, how the Lord's provided, in my life through everything, but He's provided everything that I've needed, even things I've wanted. And so it's really, really what got me into wanting to go to college. And
so what would you say with school, now you are at the very beginning here, you're about to step into it tomorrow, right? You're going to travel tomorrow.
Yeah.
What at the end of, let's say the end of your first year, because you're only doing one semester spring and then you go back in the fall.
Right.
At the end of the fall semester, you have 2 semesters in. What would you like to accomplish in that time?
Yeah. So I definitely, want to be, I guess the word would be established there. And what I mean by that is like, obviously, like I'm learning a bunch of different things. There's like English class, and I'm taking pastoral studies. So there's like things on music, and I think it's hermeneutics. So I'd like to at least come away with something that I've learned.
Yeah.
By then, obviously. But I mean, really, if I could give a goal, would be to be closer to the Lord than I am now, to have a better understanding of the Word of God, to like I sing, I play piano, to be better developed, have my talents, worked on through singing or piano playing. So yeah, really just to improve a lot. And I think I'll see that.
What are you most excited about?
Most excited.
What are you looking forward to about school? Could be, it's California, so the weather's gonna be nicer, but it could be anything.
Probably just the camaraderie, to be, because, well, here, we're pretty small, or we're a smaller church, so you have there's a couple younger guys here. Out there's a lot. So
Yeah.
just to be around a bunch of younger guys who are wanting to serve the Lord as well, in the same mindset. And sports is going to be fun too. That's another thing. But I really look forward to, and I'm really excited to talk and meet some guys who are on fire for the Lord, and to just ask them their points of view on stuff, and maybe have a Bible study with them. So stuff like that.
Good.
For sure.
Good. What are you going to miss the most, or maybe what's the what are you going to miss the most when you leave there?
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah. Probably serving. That's probably not what most people would say. But singing in the choir and doing specials, the ability to teach in, we have a Pathfinders class, to teach in there. Here, not that I'm needed, but that I have more responsibility here than I would there, because they're so much bigger. So really just the role that I play of singing and preaching, all that stuff is I'll definitely miss that. And of course everyone that's here, the people.
Yeah.
It's like family. So I would definitely miss everybody.
What do you think is going to be the hardest part about school?
The hardest part, probably probably keeping track of money, for sure. Just having the discipline, working out there, and making sure this is on time.
Yeah.
Everything's set. This is the amount that I need in my savings. This is the amount that I need to take out to pay this. Not going out to eat all the time. Because I eat out a lot here. Because I can, but just tightening up stuff like that.
Yeah.
Budget for sure.
That definitely is going to be one of the harder parts. But also, you're going to be so busy with work and everything, and then you have the meals from the school.
Yeah.
There won't be as much time for you to spend money, except for maybe online or something. But
right.
Well, good. So I'll give you some of my advice from school. My freshman year, I was in Bible college in 2011. And so how old were you in 2011?
Oh, man. 6?
6 years old, yeah. So, and you were in my wedding.
I was.
You were the ring bearer. And you were how old? That was 2014. You would have been 10 years old, 12 years old?
Let's see.
8 years old?
Yeah, probably 7, 8.
8 years old.
Maybe
okay.
9. Probably 7 or 8. For sure.
So, I was thinking about that. Like the kid who was in my wedding as the ring bearer is going to Bible college. That's a lot of times passed between then and now, and very quickly. So I guess that was, 11 some odd years ago.
That's crazy.
But I went to school from 2011 to 2015 in person, and then I did a couple online schools as well. I would say one of the biggest things I learned was how to deal with situations that I didn't agree with or that I didn't want to be in. Okay, for example, you're going to get put in a dorm with somebody that you don't know and may not like you. You may not like them. But for the next 4 months, 5 months, you are going to be sleeping in that room. You're going to be in that room all the time with this person. So it's very possible that you are going to have to learn how to navigate, that situation there. So for me, I was 18 and a half. Yeah, a little over 18 and a half when I went to Bible college. And it was a huge maturation process for me because I was being thrust into, I was going kind of how you are. I was going from a small church where I taught Sunday school, I ran the bus, I sang in the choir, I'd preach from time to time, and then going to a place where, nobody cares who your pastor is at home. Nobody cares about your church because they've got their things going on. And, you find out real quick, I'm not as big as I thought I was. I'm not a big shot.
Right.
And then you find people who disagree with you or maybe disagree with things that you've been taught your whole life. And so there's a lot of challenge that comes with that,
Right.
which can be a good thing or a bad thing. It can really help you grow. I think a sign of a spiritually mature individual is one who can face adversity in belief, whether it's from a teacher or from another student or from whatever, and learn how to navigate that. Learn how to not say, "Oh, you're a heretic. I don't want to ever talk to you again." Learn how to be friends with someone who may disagree with you in different areas. That was the thing that really I learned from college. I also met lifelong friends. I mean, there's people I'm still friends with today that I went to Bible college with 11 years ago, that today I'm still very close to because of that camaraderie. You're talking about that bond that we had. We were together in the dorms all the time. We were eating together. We were in class together. We were praising the Lord together. We were knocking on doors together. We were taking tests together. We were getting in trouble together. We were in the dean's office together, whatever. So I have a lot of really good memories from Bible college. I've thought of a few while I was writing things down. There was one time my mom came and visited, and I don't know where she got these from, but it must have been around, let me think. It must have been around February of 2012. And she had gotten all these, of course they lived in Ohio, I was in Texas, so it was a long trip. She had all these bottle rockets that I have no clue where she got, and she thought they were firecrackers, that you kids use.
Right.
So she gave them to me, and I didn't have no idea what they were. I put them in the back of my vehicle. Now, of course, probably on every college rules list, it's like, no fireworks, right? You can't have fireworks. And so I had them, and I asked one of the guys, like, what is this? And they were like, that's a bottle rocket. And I was like, no way, no, it's not. And they were like, yeah, it is. And I was like, we should open our window in our dorm and fire these off out. And next to the dorm, they had these windows, in each unit. And then next to it was just a bunch of woods and open area. It wasn't a house or anything over there. So we started doing that, and we lit off one, and like all this smoke came in the dorms, and I was like, oh my goodness, the fire alarm's going to go off. The fire department's going to show up. The dean of men's going to come. We're going to be expelled.
Oh, no.
And so we shot off one or two of them, and eventually we were able to clear it out before. And we never got caught.
Wow.
Surprisingly, I don't know how. These are not good stories for you.
So
to
don't
hear,
do that.
Don't do that. I also remember, Bible college when I was your age is very different from today. Back then, the internet was still new. Like your cell phones didn't even have unlimited internet. You had a very limited amount. You paid by the, I think by the megabyte back then, and then you used your phone on Wi-Fi. But YouTube wasn't what it is today either. And so we had a lot of the guys in the dorm would play computer games, and so I remember bringing with me a bunch of computer games, and I didn't know they were against the rules. No one told me that, so I brought them, and I had them in my dorm, and the dorm supervisor or the dean of men found out about it, and he had me in his office, and he said, I need you to give them to me, because they're against the rules. So I gave it to him, and he was like, I'll give them to you at the end of the year. And so I only went to that school for 1 year and ended up transferring to another school. But after that year, he never gave me my computer games back. So there were tens of dollars worth of computer games in there that I never got back. So Jeremy Arrington, if you're listening to this, I need my computer games back. But anyway, those are some funny things I was thinking. Of course, we played a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
And I know you like to play basketball, so you play a lot of basketball. that was a lot of fun. I still remember us playing ball together. I mean, anytime we had time off, there was a gym there. We would ask somebody to open it. We'd go in and play ball. They also had an outdoor one too for when the weather was nice. But I put a guy's one time put his shoes in the freezer. He couldn't find his shoes, and he only had one pair of shoes for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh my goodness.
And so I kind of felt bad about that one. And today, it was actually Brother Roussel, Zach Roussel, who's a pastor now. But we played a lot of foosball. We played some Risk. There were a lot of really good memories. Yeah. So I think the hardest thing for me was balancing the work with the school and what was required. Like there's a lot of ministry you do, a lot of you're going to work full time probably, and then the school and the schedule can really take a toll on you. I think there was one time where I had spent just over 40 hours without sleeping, and it was because I had worked like an overnight shift. And then we had gone into school, and then they called me in or I had been scheduled for an afternoon shift, and 3 to 11 or something like that. And then, anyway, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but it ended up being like 39, 40, 41 hours. So there's a lot of, and energy drinks were frowned upon.
Yeah.
At that time there. It doesn't mean I didn't drink them. It just means that they were frowned upon. So I definitely relied on those to get me through the day. But the schedule was brutal. So if I had to give advice to you, it's make memories, talk to people, but also to prioritize, because of the busyness, you need to prioritize your Bible reading and your prayer time, and just schedule it. Hey, at night before I go to bed, 30 minutes, or right when I wake up, or I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock or whatever it is, schedule it, because it can easily slip away from you. I knew a lot of kids that were in Bible college that were just far from the Lord, even though they're involved in all these spiritual activities. Yeah. Their heart's not there because they're not in the Word, they're not in prayer, they're not drawing closer to the Lord in their relationship. And so I definitely would advise you to do that. And so we definitely also, as a church, we want you to come back with a girlfriend, with a wife, whatever it may be. So talk to all the girls there, just see which one you like the most, which one talks to you, and go from there. So anything else you want to say? Anything else you're excited about, or any closing thoughts?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it all. That's the biggest thing. That's the thing is advice is always nice, because people learn things that you haven't learned yet, and so you can get saved. I've learned this in my life. You can get saved from a lot of issues if you just listen to the advice of someone else. So now I know not to bring bottle rockets.
Now no fireworks. Although I did not get in trouble for that, so I don't know. Maybe it isn't a lesson that was learned. I don't know, but
yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. Be in prayer for Brother Andrew. If you haven't already, go over to his channel, Wisdom from the Word. I'll put a link in here, or I think now with YouTube you can actually tag them in it, and whatever, so it shows up. But subscribe to him. Like the video, share it, comment, and we will do another video probably in the summer if you end up coming back. If you don't end up staying there and getting married and settling down. If you end up coming back to Northeast Ohio for whatever reason, you would come back here, we will do another video, kind of do a little bit of an update video. And we'll try to maybe do some videos when you have days off or something. Maybe we'll plan, let's do a live video and you can talk about school or talk about what you've learned or whatever. But until then, thank you for watching. God bless you, and we will see you in the next video.